6 ways on how to set boundaries with people. And growing up in a household like I did, we didn't communicate. We didn't express the way we felt. And I would often just cry myself to sleep because I would be so angry, so upset, and so afraid of all of the anger and the fear and the rage and the violence that my dad would project onto me. I didn't know what a boundary was. I was just a little kid. I didn't know how to set a boundary. And if I did, it wouldn't have gotten enforced because he was way too powerful when I was young. And so this was something I had to deal with growing up. But then when I began getting into relationships, I was still carrying that energy with me of fear of not communicating and speaking my truth. So when someone would get angry at me, I would just get angry back because that's all I knew how to do. I would just fight fire with fire instead of trying to love that person and open my heart to them. I would immediately close because I was being hurt, because I wasn't being heard, right? And this is what happens so often is we don't know how to speak our truth because it's uncomfortable. And we only do what's comfortable to us. We do what's natural to us, what we've been taught to do. So if you grew up in a household with violence or where people didn't speak their truth or where communication wasn't very clear, then you don't know how to set boundaries, most likely. I know I didn't, and this is something I've had to teach myself, was how to practice setting a loving boundary with somebody. Whether it's in a relationship with a friend, a lover, at a job, you can't allow people just to project all their stuff onto you. And here's why. Because when you do that, you enable that person's suffering and your own because you're not rooted in your own truth. And when you're not rooted in your own truth, you can't help the world become a better place. You can't help humans and all of your brothers and sisters on this planet become better by raising the standard of love. When you set a boundary, you raise the standard of love. And that's beautiful. So let's get right into the 6 ways to set a boundary. This was an Instagram post that I had put up. And number 1 says, check your own energy, okay? Why is this person showing up? What are they here to teach you? Really think about this because if you look at everyone as a mirror of your own consciousness and the universe sends someone to you, they're there to teach you. Every single being on this planet carries codes. And those codes have the ability to upgrade your whole system if you allow it to. But oftentimes we're so in this victim, poor me mentality. When someone triggers us, we want to hurt them. We want to put them down. We want to push them away as fast as possible. But when we're in the fire that burns or the fire that purifies, we can actually allow ourselves to learn from this lesson. So whether it's your father calling you and triggering you or your boyfriend or your girlfriend, husband, mother, whoever, these people are showing up in your life to teach you a lesson. And maybe that lesson is learning how to speak your truth, learning how to set a boundary. Or maybe they're actually carrying with them a code that you need to take a better look at. Because oftentimes, if someone is guilting you or shaming you, what part of yourself still has a guilt program running? And that's a program that needs to die. It needs to be destroyed. If you really want to ascend in consciousness and you want to transcend these energies into love, you have to take a deeper look at why people show up in your experience. Because no one is just brought into your life by accident. No one is random. The person that cuts you off when you're driving is not random. God sent that person in order for you to realize that maybe I need to be a little more patient today. Maybe that person is struggling and maybe energetically they just need some love. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give them my love in this moment. Instead of flipping out, getting all mad, all angry. This was me. This was me for the longest time. So bad it got to the point of fist fighting. Someone would confront me. We would fight, fist fight. And that's what I grew up in a household with my dad where all I knew was how to fight. Punch holes in walls, fist fight with him or whatever it was. And then growing up and getting to relationships, man, it was just toxic. It was anger, it was violence, it was rage because I was still carrying those old programs with me. But you don't have to, right? It's time to update your hard drive. Just like you have a cell phone right now, maybe if you're running on the new iPhone system or whatever the update is, your soul system needs to be updated as well. You can't keep running on the same template, the same program from 6 years old and expect to live a better, more beautiful life. Number 2, honor your space. If someone is projecting their fears onto you, stand in your light by saying, this doesn't serve me for you to project this onto me. And when you do that, when you honor your space, your energetic field, you stop allowing these denser vibrations, being fear, guilt, shame, to show up in your life by saying, no, here's my barrier, respect this. And if you don't respect it, then we have no business here. We have nothing together, okay? And I'm telling you, when you put this boundary down, when you put your foot down, this energy will stop showing up in your life. I'm sure it's going to still show up from time to time to teach you again, to keep rooting yourself in love, but you have to honor your energetic field, your vibration, your space. And when you do that by speaking your truth with an open heart, everything begins shifting for you. If you're in a relationship right now and that person is very invasive of your space, maybe very controlling or very manipulative, or maybe these are your past relationships, and you didn't speak your truth and you didn't say to that person, listen, you need to honor my space right now. You're way too invasive of me. You're way too controlling of me. And I'm not going to tolerate this. Then you're just going to keep carrying the energy with you. But when you put your foot down and say, no, that's not how I operate. I deserve this much level of respect, and this is what I will receive. And if I don't, then I'm leaving. And stay true to your space too. When you draw this line in the sand, that when you cross this, that's the boundary. And honor that space. Number 3, practice speaking your truth with love fully present. Okay? And here's why. Because when someone gets angry at you and you get angry back, now you're both angry. Now you're both unconscious. And what happens with two unconscious people? Ego, fear, violence, rage, destruction. Why do we go to war? For the need to be right. When we're not right, we go into war. Whether it's war with another country, war with another person, war within a relationship with a family member or a romantic partner. Think about this. When you become unconscious and you become unrooted in love, now you've been had. Now you're trapped again by the ego. The ego just pulled you back down and said, haha, gotcha. But why? Why do you allow the universe's triggers to upset you so bad? This is all just a big cosmic joke. And you got to be able to see the humor in all of it. Because when someone's projecting onto you, it's actually kind of funny. And when you get to that level of consciousness, you're like, man, this is interesting. This is funny. Thank you, universe, for sending me this person. I get the lesson. All right. Lesson's been learned. Check. And that person will stop showing up. Every single time you check a box off, the universe goes, okay, they learned this one. Okay, they learned this one. Oh, cheating partner, check. They learned this one. Not going to do that again. The universe is always listening. The universe is always watching. But if you want to transcend and ascend in consciousness, you have to actually learn the lessons the universe is sending you. So look for the signs. Look for the teachings. Number 4, remain fully conscious. Woo! If someone is trying to bring you down, bring your awareness into your breath and practice keeping your heart open. Okay? So if someone, we'll give an example right now. Imagine someone's in front of you. They're really upset about something. Just soften yourself. Don't get all tense. Don't bring your shoulders up to your neck and start protecting yourself. Soften yourself. Breathe. Before you react with your violence and your rage and your outburst of whatever you got going on and project all your stuff onto them, just breathe and soften yourself. And then practice opening your heart, okay? Because in this moment, this person needs your love. And you are holding the keys to their love, to them getting and receiving love, because they don't have it within their own heart. If a person is projecting fear or whatever onto you, they are not feeling love in that moment. And if you are more conscious in that moment, and you hold the keys to the consciousness within that moment, you have the ability to say, here you go. Here's some love. You're not getting it right now, so here's some love. But you don't actually have to say that to them because that'll probably trigger them even more. But energetically, just start sending them your love, your light. I love you. I love you. I love you. They'll get it eventually because you're planting seeds of consciousness wherever you go. Look at yourself like a gardener in this universe. You are like a gardener, always going around dropping little seeds. You're either dropping seeds of fear, violence, rage, anger, lust, greed, desire, or you're planting seeds of love, compassion, joy, peace, playfulness. You choose which seeds you want to plant. I invite you to plant seeds of love throughout the entire universe. Because when you do that, you will always have access to love, little deposits of love wherever you go within the universe. And you'll realize that the entire universe is you. So if you plant seeds throughout the universe, you're just planting seeds within your own self. Let that resonate for a minute. Number 5, treat them the same way you would treat a small child who was upset. Don't get angry or upset with them. Love is the answer. Just because they are an adult doesn't mean they are emotionally evolved. And I'll share with you the story of my mother and my father. And this is quite a funny story, actually. I find it quite funny. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. My mom and my dad, when they got a divorce when I was 12 years old, my dad gave my mom a piece of property up the road on the same property. So now they live about 700 feet apart. And they're like not good for each other to even be in the same town, the same city, the same country. That's a little extreme. But so my dad, every morning for a while, he would come up to my mom's house and he'd have his little coffee cup, and it would be a disposable coffee cup, and he would leave it on my mom's counter after he would say what he had to say and just walk out the door and leave it on her counter every single morning for like 3 months straight. And she was so mad about it. I was like, Mom, why don't you set a boundary with him? Tell him to stop leaving his coffee cup on your counter and to stop even showing up at your house randomly. And she's like, well, I guess I never thought about it. She said, I see him walking up the driveway and he looks so sad, so miserable, so angry, so upset. I'm like, Mom, but what you're looking at is a 6-year-old boy that never got love growing up, who was beaten by his father almost on a daily basis because he grew up dirt poor on a farm. And what you're looking at is a little boy that needs love. So who are you to judge him and not give him that love? I'm not saying that you need to keep allowing him to come up here, but what he's really seeking is your love. And if you just get angry and upset with him, you just hurt him even further. So allow yourself to open your heart. But that doesn't mean you just keep allowing him to leave your coffee cup on your thing or show up randomly at your house. Set the boundary with him. Set a boundary with people showing up in your life, and don't tolerate it. Don't tolerate the unconsciousness. That's what you're really doing, is you're tolerating people being unconscious. And when you tolerate that, you perpetuate their suffering and yours because they are you. They are reflections of you. All right. Number 6, be willing to reinforce the boundary multiple times. And if they don't respect you, remove them from your life. Don't tolerate less than you deserve in any type of relationship. Okay. This goes for intimate partnership, family members, friends, coworkers, anything. When a person doesn't respect your boundary and you've reinforced it multiple times, remove them from your life. And that may sound kind of cold, that may sound kind of harsh, but setting a strong, loving boundary means that you stick to that boundary and be willing to stay true to that boundary. Because when you're staying true to the boundary and you're rooted in love, the universe always recognizes that. The universe always goes, wow, this person's for real. I'm not going to keep sending this energy into their life. And when you stay in that vibrational state of love and truth, oftentimes this person will fall right out of your life. You won't even have to have the conversation with them because vibrationally, energetically, you cut that cord between you and them. And all of a sudden you're like, how come I don't hear from this person anymore? Because they felt the shift. They knew that, okay, wow, like this person's for real. I'm not going to keep projecting all my stuff on them. And if I have to go around them, I really have to raise my vibration. Have you ever noticed this before? Have you ever noticed how when you increase your vibration and you increase your energy, certain people just stop showing up? You stop hearing from that old drinking buddy or girlfriend that just complained about everything because your vibration is increasing. And the more you work on clearing your energy, purging your system, purifying your house, this house, your consciousness, your soul's karma, you attract better things, people, and experiences into your life. That's how it works. Thank you so much for being a part of this episode. If this brought you value, please feel free to share it with someone you love. And please stay open, stay loving, and stay connected to that beautiful source within you.